gotta talk now, guys. So, if you guys haven't realized, and I didn't do this intentionally, but it kind of just seems to be going that way. So I'm kind of working my way through the 100 words of fitness. Eat some vegetables, see some fruit, little starch, no sugar for the diet, and then like how much to eat with the, eat enough to support exercise but not body fat. We're gonna skip a decent way down, and honestly, I don't even know where this part is on this wall. That's shame on me. I think it's right here actually. But essentially, it's keep workouts short and intense. And for a long time, like when I started in CrossFit, like 2009 or so, the only place that CrossFit really existed on for most people was online. You went to CrossFit.com, you saw whatever was posted, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll do that. Some days you really liked it, some days you really hated it. 5K run, it's rest day. 7x1 shoulder press, I'm in. Like either would be the days you kind of pick and choose, which isn't good training of CrossFit. You shouldn't avoid the things you didn't want, but I'm human, so I did those things. 2K row, I'm good. I skip those days. But one of the things that's really valuable about these kind of workouts, and what's valuable about CrossFit is it's brought attention to the fact that you don't need to work out for hours on end to get the benefit of the workout. What's beautiful about CrossFit, I think, is that it's the first people who actually use scientific definitions that would be like appropriate for a physicist and apply it to exercise science. So like if you were to go to like an exercise science program like I did, and they talk a lot about things like neurosynaptic facilitation. How do you define that? What are the terms? And the answer is you can't, so it's not science. So Greg decided, I'm gonna I'm gonna use physics to define fitness. We're gonna try to develop as much power as we can. How much work can we do? How fast can we do it? Which means how little time. And that's what the power is. It's work times distance over time. So how heavy, how fast, and how long did it take? And in doing so, he put out a hypothesis that if you did this style of training, you could make yourself really, really fit. Turns out, anecdotally at first, without having much scientific background, he's proved himself right. And again, proven like the scientific sense where it's not like a law necessarily, but like he's got a hypothesis, and everyone that's into this training seems to follow along with what he hypothesized. So what I'm getting at here is, he said keep our workouts short and intense. And unfortunately, because people have misused CrossFit, in my opinion, they think that every day needs to be a 40-minute EMOM or a 20-minute AMRAP, or every day needs a lift and a conditioning, which on some days are perfectly appropriate. But longer doesn't mean better. In fact, us CrossFit coaches have a name for that. We call them any asshole workouts. You know why they call them that? Because any asshole can set a clock for 30 minutes, pick 6 things and say, I'm gonna do these this many times, and it's a workout. And at the end, you're sweaty and fine, but you're not really doing what CrossFit was intended to do, which is to move large loads that are heavy, long distances to create power. So, the original charter for CrossFit is, live your life in couplets and triplets, keep workouts short and intense, go heavy, medium, and long, go light, moderate, and heavy, but mix these things up in as many elements as creativity will allow. So the reason why we keep workouts short and intense, number one reason is this right here. Power production. And the reason that's important to you guys is power production is intensity. What we just did, would you all agree is pretty short? Does it still feel short right now? You feel what you did? You're still in it, right? You're still in it right now. And that's one of the beauties of what happens inside of a CrossFit gym, is we do these workouts that move large loads, long distances quickly, and the after effects of these workouts last beyond the 5-minute Fran you just did, or the 10-minute AMRAP you just did, or the 7x1 deadlift you just did. They last for hours up to days later, which is what makes them really valuable. But secondly, they create a hormonal response. One of the things that's beautiful about CrossFit, they use functional movements with high intensity. It allows you to create power, but it also allows your body to get what's called a neuroendocrine response. Basically, because you use multi-joints, you lift heavy weights, and you do it very fast, you get these responses that look like an increase in testosterone, growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor, estrogen to some extent. All of these things help produce you higher hormone profiles and make you feel more youthful. Maybe not the day after the workout when you're walking down the stairs, a little funny, but keep you at a level that is more youthful than you would be if you had not done these things, especially as you get older. What's nice about that, and what we care about that, is that those hormones also make for denser bones. Ladies, as you go to the doctor, as you get older, you're going to start hearing more and more about your bones being brittle if you don't resistance train. They're going to tell you to use vitamin D and do resistance training, but they won't tell you what the hell that means. You're doing that here, right? It's not in the machine next door, which is better than nothing. I don't want anyone to think that I'm doing that. Like, if that's all you do, stick to that. But there are better ways to do it, which is what we do here. And then more importantly, one of the number predictors of your mortality, how long you live, is how much muscle mass you have. Higher hormone profile, more muscle mass. More muscle, live longer, live happier. That's what we're after here. That's why we would do this. Additionally, we see an increase in your cardiovascular function. So like, one of the things that you go to the doctor for is asking you an exercise. They typically, are you doing exercise? They care if, are you doing aerobic exercise? Well, aerobic exercise is all well and good. We do plenty of aerobic exercise in here as well. But at some point, if you live only in the aerobic space, meaning if you only do these long, slow distance workouts. Again, I'm just using distance because a lot of people go for like a jog outside, or they go next door and they go on the elliptical for 20, 30, 40 minutes, or they're on the stair stepper for X amount of time. You start to get things like an improved VO2 max, which just means like how much oxygen you can use. You also have an increased lactate threshold. But the problem is if you keep training that way for long enough, you start to lose speed, strength, and power. So like if you were to go to the Olympics and you asked every single one of the marathoners to line up and jump as high as you can, they'd all go. They have traded strength, speed, and power to be highly specialized in running very fast like that. Ask them to cut directions, ask them to bench press half their body weight, ask them to jump. All of these things they traded away in the spirit of being very, very good cardiovascular, which again, if that's what you want to do, great. I don't want that. I don't want a 410 mile if that means I can bench press 1/3 my body weight, or I can only deadlift half my body weight. I want to have all these things. I'm greedy. So we can train and get these benefits that you get from aerobic training, maybe not as specialized as your marathoner, but a lot of the benefits you want without spending hours and hours and hours on our feet. And then last, going back to what we talked about with nutrition, see decreased body fat. Anaerobic training, meaning these short bursts of effort done for a short amount of time, are way more effective at decreasing body fat relative to cardiovascular exercise that exceeds the 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 minute windows. So you get a lot of the benefits you get of cardio without losing speed, strength, or power, and without losing that hormonal response. And for that reason, in the 100 Words of Fitness, you see keep workouts short and intense. So if you ever come here and you wonder like, man, it feels like all the workouts we do are like between 5 and 15 minutes. Why are we doing 40-minute EMOMs? Why aren't we doing X, Y, and Z? Those things are definitely important in the program. But if it's the bulk of your programming, you're not doing CrossFit, right? There are plenty of companies out there that sell programming to other gyms where every day is a 30 to 40-minute EMOM. You guys have any idea why they might do that?
So people think they're getting the value out of it?
That's one reason. What else? Yes, that's another reason. There's third and one more big reason that pisses me off more as a coach than anything else.
You need a coach.
Yeah, how fucking hard do you have to coach if you have fucking 8 stations and it's like, next station, next station, next station, next station. How much coaching do you think happens if there's a 40-minute workout in class? You guys have done them here before. It's usually our long running days. It's like, all right guys, a couple of leg swings, ride the bike for 2 minutes, see ya. Imagine if that was your CrossFit experience every single day, how much you'd actually learn. Not very much. So, I really like to nerd out on programming. I want everyone to know that I do the programming now, and the reason why I program it is I truly believe in the 100 Words of Fitness you see back on that poster. So if you ever wonder why we're doing what we're doing, read that poster. If you still don't get it, come talk to me. You guys have any questions? Cool. Thanks for hanging out.